Hey Insider, we got a special guest joining us today. She recently graduated from the LMA program, and she'll be sharing with us in terms of her experience on board LMA, how she found the whole journey. So let's start, Sarah, with your full name, where you're currently based, and what's your current occupation?
Hello, my name is Sarah Jane Rowlands. I'm currently based near Portsmouth in the southern UK. And I consider myself an artist and an author. This is one of my paintings behind, but I'm developing myself in those fields, and I do a bit of coaching with friends on the side. Before this, I'd spent 10 years in the Royal Navy, and in between, I've had a couple of children. So getting into something new.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's rewind time right now, Sarah. I want you to just really think back to before LME journey. What problems were you experiencing in your life back then, and how was it impacting your life?
Okay, so I'd got to a real frustration point, I suppose. I'd had a few years that I'd found pretty tough, and I just struggled, and I was literally just in survival mode for most of it. And I came out the end of it, and then I was like, okay, I want to get back into life now. I want to get back into doing what I want to do, not what anyone's told me to do, but what I know that I want to do next, because I can. But I was just, I wasn't actualizing on what I wanted to do. So I knew I could be more, but I didn't know how to do it, and I wasn't doing it. And that was really frustrating. And so I'd started watching self-development videos on YouTube, mainly just some ones that I come across, which is when I saw your advert, Tim. And
Okay.
I was, yeah, should I carry on?
Yeah, I suppose I'm curious to know in regards to that. So when you were essentially saying you was experiencing some level of resistance and so forth, so how were those symptoms showing up in your life? What did it really feel like to you?
I could never feel fulfilled. I always felt like I was failing people and letting myself down, because I couldn't fulfill on commitments. And I just couldn't understand why. It's like I had the energy and the drive and the desire to do these things, but before I could complete, I always seemed to sabotage it somehow. And I wasn't doing it on purpose. I didn't quite understand it. So it was like a constant frustration and feeling kind of trapped and hemmed in the life that someone else had made for me, even though it wasn't.
Right. So it's kind of like self-sabotage in a way.
Yeah, it was definitely self-sabotage that was get me in the end. I had the energy and the desire, but somehow I'd always undermine my efforts before I could really get to what I wanted to, and then I felt other people would look negatively on me because of it, and so I felt negatively upon myself, and it went in a cycle. And then it'd be like, what's Sarah's next brilliant idea that she's going to try and do? And we'd all kind of joke that I was clearly never going to fulfill it anyway.
Right. What I'm always curious about from any of the LMA students is the catalyst behind the change. Is often we're experiencing a lot of emotions, and eventually we make that decision that it's time. And so in terms of the problems you were experiencing, what would you say was like the worst part of having these problems in your life? And why were you pretty much fed up with having them?
I think I needed to know where to invest my trust. And that is a phrase that I could only use having been through the LMA journey, because I didn't even quite know what it was that I didn't know until this point, until 6 weeks ago. So it was that, yeah, I didn't trust in myself to make the appropriate decisions for me. I didn't trust those around me, even though they were so loving and supportive, to actually give me the things I needed if I asked for something that I really wanted, or wanted to try and do something. And so because I wasn't able to invest that trust, and that's why it always got frustrated before the end. But eventually it's like I woke up enough in my mind to be like, there's something missing here, and there's someone who's been here before who has figured out the key, and I need no, I need to invest in something proper. I can't just keep piecemealing stuff on the internet. It's not going to work anymore.
Right. And you were saying you was checking out some personal growth stuff on YouTube and you randomly came
Yeah.
across us. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I came across your advert. Obviously, I didn't mean to watch it. I didn't even know that you were out there, but you captivated me, Tim. You got my attention. Your vibrancy and your authenticity. It was so real. It was just clearly so real and so right. And yeah, I could see the evidence, because it wasn't just you. You had obviously people like me, other people could testify, and just your environment. It was so genuine. I knew it was right.
So you attended the free webinar, which was the 3 secrets to reinvent yourself. And you were presented, of course, with the opportunity to join LMA. Sarah, I suppose if you were to be honest, what was your biggest fear or doubt you had about the LMA program, and what ended up putting that to rest for you?
It's a lot of money to invest, for anyone. It's I'm not saying it's a staggering huge amount, but it's a serious amount of money. Like, you're committing to something, and we're so warned. There's so much negative energy out there about things being scams, and people are just trying to take you for a ride. And it seems like the amount of people who are actually trying to screw you over in the world is made to be way bigger than the actual amount of people there are. So sorry, to focus on the question. Yeah, it was fear that I couldn't trust you. It was fear that this wasn't a real thing. I was going to invest the money, and then actually I wouldn't even be able to log in or something. So at first I was like, this is good. I believe in you, but it's not for me. I don't need it right now. I'll be fine. And then it was on my mind. It was on my mind, and I saw other testimonials, and like I said, it's a variety of people. It's not like you just got your best friend to say some good things about you. It's different people, different walks of life, different energies, enthusiasms, and it was so real, and it was so right, and I could afford that money. It was so worth it.
So did you join after the webinar, or was it during the webinar?
After.
Oh, after. Okay, so you was doing your due diligence in a way, just checking through the site and so forth?
I did, yeah. I didn't get to see all of the site straight away. It was everything I got from you and that I could see was going on, in the session. It just, something really resonated within me, which clearly up until that point I'd been trying to ignore with like the logic. But it wouldn't leave me alone. It just beat harder and harder, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And as soon as I committed, I was like, yes, I've done something good here, and it hasn't even started.
Was you scared when you took that risk, or?
June, scared for the journey, or scared that I'd been wrong to trust?
I suppose just in general, how did you feel as soon as you made that decision?
As soon as I committed to a decision,
yeah,
and then made it happen straight away, I felt elated. I literally felt like that. I felt like I'd achieved something. So when you're hovering on the edge, you're just being pulled constantly. But as soon as you've made a clear decision about something and then moved on, you're like, yeah, it's done. And just, the smile can't stop growing on my face, because wow, it's so much more than I thought it would be.
So what ended up making you make that decision?
Oh gosh, it was testimonials, really. Actually, seeing the testimonials that you sent through afterwards, and were there for evidence that just, it convinced me. And that, if I still had the faint beating of it in my heart, and then every time I went online, I was seeing different people giving the same message but with different language. I was like, yeah, okay, I want to be part of that. I do need to be part of that now.
So you ended up, of course, being part of the recorded version as well as the live version of LMA. So what would you say made you feel like the happiest, or what ended up surprising you when you were experiencing the LMA journey for yourself?
Gosh, the community was the hugest thing. I just want to check I'm answering what you want me to talk about. the community was the most amazing thing. So I always like to think I'm quite independent, and I'm quite intelligent, and I can do stuff by myself, and I don't rely on other people. So I thought, yeah, I can do this. And it's like, oh, there's a Facebook community, but you said so many times how beneficial it was to be part of a community, and that is the spot where the community existed, and it was worth being in it just for that. So I was like, okay, I will join Facebook. And it's just amazing. That's just amazing. You've got your daily challenges, you've got this whole tribe of people. It's so positive and encouraging in everything, and people are all over the world, so there's actually always somebody there, like who could be watching you if you're doing a live, or who you would build up a rapport with and be watching their lives and different things. And then to actually be in the events every Sunday as well was it was just incredible. So it's like you could see these people's stories throughout the week, and then you were all there in the same room because you could be chatting on the side, and it was, yeah,
Okay.
community.
And before LMA, by the way, did you ever do any form of course or programs before?
No, nothing official. I honestly just tried to figure most things out myself and keep it to myself, frankly, because it always, why would you need to develop yourself? Surely you could be good enough already. So it always felt like something I couldn't really talk about or shouldn't really talk about. So I guess that's why I never committed to anything official. But now I've done it and I'm there, and I'm like, this isn't embarrassing, this is amazing.
Okay. I'm curious to know, in terms of, so a part of you wanted to develop further. What was that reason in terms of wanting to, because it is kind of, I suppose, different, like even from my personal experience, going from reading books to watching YouTube videos to immersing deeper requires a specific belief within you, right? Because it really is committing to mastery. So what made you want to say, yeah, this is my time to really delve deeper?
You do ask the deep questions. Okay, so like I said, I've been through a rough time for the past 4 to 5 years, just up till now, and I'd come across some really horrid core beliefs about myself, that I didn't really deserve to be here, and mainly that I deserved to suffer. If I was going to live, I deserved to suffer. And I think that came to the root of why everything would be self-sabotaged, or every time things seemed to be getting better for me, I had to do something drastic to to like level the plane again, or to make me constantly be suffering if there was anything good in my life. And that took a lot of energy. Frankly, that took a lot of energy. But in just January of this year, so that would be a month or so before I came across the advert, I finally got over that belief. And like, I'd been aware of it for a few years, but I'd finally got over the belief that I deserved to suffer. Therefore, I was so ready that when the right thing presented itself, I was ready to do it properly, because I didn't have to suffer anymore, which meant I could commit to living a full life. So as soon as I saw the right thing, the genuine thing, the thing that felt right for me, and I could actually expose my whole heart to it, I was like, yes.
Wow. So there was a part of you that was thinking that you deserved to suffer.
Yeah. I had that part of me all the way till then, and I didn't really even realize it. It's strange that, like, the external self that you build, because you think, if I can just make it look good enough on the outside, then people won't see what's on the inside, but you can still feel terrible at your core. I guess being on LMA has shown me that you have to shine the light into your core and build outwards from there. You can never extinguish the darkness inside if you think there's darkness there. You have to grow the light inside, and it beams out.
So onboard LMA, what were you? So you, at this stage when you're joining LMA, you were already kind of, I suppose, you shifted that belief. You said you decided that you no longer deserve to suffer, and you deserve to essentially unlock your potential. So what was you looking to experience on board LMA?
I suppose I wanted to be shaken up, and but still kind of being on my own terms. I wanted to be shaken up on my own terms. So I was willing to dive deep and do the stuff. I just didn't want to do it in the same room as someone, if that makes any sense. I was happy to
like a
be
seminar or
yeah, it's just like a seminar or like an individual coaching. I
um,
think I'd feel a bit exposed. It sounds strange. Maybe I wouldn't after this, but at the time I liked the idea of it being a group that you could be as much a part of as you wanted to, or you could be as much out of as you wanted to. And I planned on that. I was going to be on the outskirts. So I was part of the group, but I was, not one of the ringleaders. And then as soon as once we really got going, and I allowed myself to kind of to get it to, because you have daily challenges, and they're doing things live on Facebook. I was like, well, I can do that. So I'm not in the same room as someone, so I can totally do this on my computer screen, or say what I need to say on the computer screen. And I did, and I got more into it. And then I saw other people, and it was such a genuine connection. Yeah.
right. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I think you've spoken out loud the truth that well, this sounds like an introverted belief in a way, but this is probably what most introverts are thinking in terms of, having someone in front of you asking direct questions does definitely seem more
Exposing.
confronting. Yeah, exposing. Whereas in a group setting, I suppose you can kind of experience it with everybody else, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to be standing at the front of the room, so no one actually has to be really looking at you until you're ready for it. You're meant to do lives, but you could record your videos and upload them as a first step. But yeah. So then it was okay.
Yeah.
I exposed myself, and it was okay.
That's so interesting because by the way, for those of you watching, she took part in a challenge that makes you expose yourself more, which is totally optional. You don't have to do that challenge. And she was really showing up and really pushing herself. So, Sarah, I suppose what ended up making you think, you know what, I want to show up even more? Because you could have hid, like properly hid, right?
Yeah. It was making the connection of people, and realizing it's realizing the assets that you have within a group as well, because there were some things I realized that I could do. It's almost like I can see other people's words or hear other people's words and experiences, and kind of collate them down into something a bit smaller and a bit easier to digest. I also quite like art, so I have sometimes when I've been trying to make like revision cards for myself, I've done a sketch because I'm quite a visual person, and every time I did do that, I put it up on the group, and it was helpful to other people. So I'm definitely an introvert, and making deep proper connections with people is not really something I expected to get out of this. But if trust was my main issue going in, which I wasn't even aware of, and I am now by week 6, then I learned to trust people, and it was okay, and people trusted me, and that was incredible.
Awesome. So the whole LMA methodology as a whole, what would you say was without revealing what's inside the module, what was the most of it, like big breakthrough module for you, and why? What did you experience? Which module was your favorite, essentially?
Okay, as I was I'll tell you my favorite because it was all incredible, and I feel like what you did was just you provide me with a 6-layer toolbox, and you provide in each module there's like a range of tools you can try out for size to see which one's actually going to fit you, because ultimately we all make our own path, we're all living our own lives, and some things fit better for people than others. And I realised I'm digressing, I'm not answering your question. So the best module for me was probably week 3, which is Clarity and Purpose. Is that the full title?
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew what I wanted or who I was going to be. But it was only when I started, when you were, some of the things you said at the beginning, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then some of the exercises you suggested, and I did one of them, which seemed like a fairly, I would say, innocent exercise to me. It didn't seem that deep. And I did it, and it was the most profound thing. It was so simple. It's like we talked about decisions before. When you're hovering on a decision, there's so much energy either way. But as soon as you just as soon as you decide to do something, like you decide to live properly, you decide to do the course and to do it properly, it's actually not that hard because you know what you're doing then. So defining my vision and purpose was, once I just like got down to the core of that, I was like, oh, well, everything kind of, it sort of shifts into place now. It's not like a mirage that's hovering around anymore. I can see it, and if I can see it, then I can figure out the waystones to get there, right?
Yeah, yeah. So what did so in terms of that exercise, I know which one you talk about. What did it do for you?
Okay, so it was what did it do for me? I suppose it revealed something to me, which had been layered under layers of what I thought was complex reasoning and dark clouds and all this stuff. It's like, oh, I'm never going to get to the bottom of that. And you just do this exercise, which can take, I don't know, 10 minutes, probably less than 10 minutes, where you focus and you do it properly. And at the end, it's like, oh, well, that wasn't that hard. And it revealed to me something I knew about myself. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but I've been resisting it since possibly my whole life. And now I'm committed to doing it, and I'm overjoyed. I've started.
Nice. Overall, having gone through the LMA experience and graduated just a couple of days ago, what would you say has been the biggest benefit for you?
Do you know, that's a hard question to answer, just because it's flipped my world upside down. I'm not saying it's shaken up everything or changed my living circumstances or anything like that, but it's just the way the lenses through which I'm seeing the world have just been cleared, changed, and I don't have a resistance bubble around me anymore. I thought it was there. I thought I was trapped all the time. I was saying, of course I can see out, so I can't really be trapped, but it's just, I'm living properly now. I'm awake in my life, and there are no boundaries. Space, no boundaries.
Awesome. Final question for you, Sarah, is imagine, I suppose you've been in this place where you were kind of hovering over that button or just thinking about joining LMA. What advice would you give to somebody who's currently on the edge right now, in terms of whether or not they should join LMA or should not? What advice would you give to that individual, having gone through the experience yourself?
It is so worth it. It is so worth it. And you deserve it. I'd only just realized that I deserve something good in my life, but you deserve it. You can get on the course. It's going to completely change everything for you. And the community continues. It's the start of a road. It doesn't end here at all. So just, I'm almost like speechless with how incredibly powerful I found this journey.
Yeah, and as you say, it doesn't end here. Like I was saying the other day also, it's just day one for you as well, Sarah, right? For me as well, just day one.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you checking out this video, should you, of course, join, you will see Sarah in our community. She is an active member right now. And we're all part of this personal growth journey together. So just firstly, want to say, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you sharing your insights. And for those of you checking out this video, I just want to say thank you so much for your time also. And as always, as I say on all of our videos, follow your heart and take action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live. Take care.